Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the CDL podcast channel. In this episode today, we're going to be reacting to the matches. Unfortunately, I have no predictions for next week as we got a little bit of a break coming up. If you guys enjoy this one, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. If you're on the audio platforms, drop a follow, drop a 5-star review. We're going to kick it off. We'll talk about our point standings through 2 weeks for both the teams we picked and then as well as our predictions. If audio or anything looks a little weird, I got my new PC from Paradox this week, so I had to reset up all my OBS. I think I have everything set up properly. It'll probably be kind of figured out as we go, but I had to reset up everything on OBS because I wasn't able to transfer my stuff over. So I'm hoping it looks good. So if something sounds weird, don't yell at me. I got my predictions on the screen. I think Brad had the best week of all of us because of his double Falcons pick. This is what I get for
Yeah.
picking the breach, dude. I picked the breach to beat Falcons, and they just disappoint me. This is what I get. A quick update to our standings. I had 26 points the first week and 21, so I have 47 total. Brad,
My week one, I had 24, and then this week I had 28.
you're at 52,
Mhm.
5 points ahead of me. Brock, I know you were not in the United States of America for the first week, so your predictions were not in. But how much did you get this week?
I got 22 week 2.
So, Brad, what did you have week one?
24.
I had 20. I feel like we should let's default. You were 2 below me. Let's default Brock to 2 below you. We'll just say Brock had 22 week one. We'll give him a slight penalty for no
How about
picks, but we'll give him 22. We'll say he was just 4 lower than me, 2 lower than you. So Brock, you had how much this week? 22. You said.
Yeah,
So
22.
you'd be at 44. I'm at 47. Brad's at 52. And then in terms, Brad, you want to read off our standings for? We did our draft. We each picked 4 teams long before the season.
So, just a reminder, Ryan has LAT, the Gentlemates, Surge, and C9, and he is at 50 points. I have Optic, Miami, Falcons, and Ravens, and I'm at 60 points. And Brock has Phase, Ultra, G2, and Breach, and he has 70 points.
I need to go back and look at. I took a reach on Surge, and I'm pretty sure I probably could have taken like G2 or something at that time. I think I'm gonna regret that one big time. Which kind of leads us into our next topic.
Mm-hmm.
And let me get that on the screen here. That is Legend. Being dropped from Surge. This is the article where it was like a source. It is now, since this article was posted, official. The Surge posted the tweet like, "Thank you to Legend." Um, there are two sides of this. I think you guys are probably gonna agree, but maybe you have a different opinion on it. But I think you can say the move makes complete sense in terms of like, yeah, they looked bad. He didn't look like he was ready, but also it makes no sense because you should have known this when signing him. Like,
You think so?
so it makes a lot of sense and also makes no sense at the same time. It makes sense in terms of like what we've seen so far of him playing. He doesn't look ready, and I don't think he is going to be ready, you know, very quickly. Like, I think there's going to be a big learning curve, so I just think they're going to struggle.
Mm-hmm.
But also, you should have foreseen this when you signed him. Like, you were signing a Halo Pro with no experience playing COD. Like, if you assumed there would be no growing pains and he would just spawn in as Formal or shottzyy, you were crazy. Like,
Yeah.
just because Formal, Crim, shottzyy, these are Halo Pros enabled that had success, doesn't mean they just were instantly like who they were right away. Obviously, some of them saw quicker success, like, but even shottzyy had his struggles early on. Like they transitioned maybe a little quicker, but that doesn't mean Legend would necessarily. Like, I think Enable took
Mm-hmm.
a little longer, so I don't know. It makes full sense, and the rumor is they, maybe we're going. I think it says in this article they were going to go after Alluka, who we'll talk about in a second. Um, but it sounds like there's a buyout with Omid, and maybe he doesn't want to go to that team because he probably could get a better offer. Um, so it sounds like Mr. Tej coming on up. Probably taking on a flex role. I'm assuming makes a little sense there. Obviously, he's got the history playing with Gwyn, little previous chemistry there, so there's a connection. I don't know. I want to get your guys' thoughts before we kind of move on and talk about Tej. On, are you guys kind of on the same page? Like, makes sense because like I don't think they were going to get better, but also makes no sense because like why'd you pick him up if you plan to drop him after 3 matches, 2 matches? Like,
Yeah. To me, like you said, makes no sense. Like, at least if they're thinking about ever dropping him that early, why not just make him a sub
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
team?
Because from his tweet, like thanking the surge, it was like he acknowledged it was like crazy for him to get an opportunity like this to start without ever having played, which makes me believe it was probably his only starting offer. I could be wrong, but you know what I mean?
Well, most
If you,
likely,
it probably was his only starting offer, so he probably would have taken a sub spot on a different team if he didn't have this. So
yeah,
yeah, I fully agree with you. Like it seems like Surge had no plan.
yeah,
I agree. I think you said that perfect as far as like, it's good and bad. But I also think like, because, first of all, I want to say that I think it's bullshit that they signed him and then just cut him right away. Just because, I mean, he's a very promising player, but like you also, like you said, knew exactly what you were getting out of it, or
Mhm.
didn't know exactly what you're getting out of it, but you had to expect that he was going to struggle to begin with. And I do think that there's like a slight, like they kind of wanted to push the team forward a little bit because I do think, well, Gwyn is shooting, and I think just the team overall is playing good enough where if they had a guy that can maybe be better than what Legend is now, then maybe they can have more team success. And I think maybe that's what they're thinking. But I think that's a complete wrong way of thinking about it, especially when you built the team this way.
Mhm.
Just because like you brought Legend on for his upside, why don't you let it play out at least let it go through the full major? At least I would have thought.
Yeah.
But
hmm
I think I don't know. Maybe they were more hopeful about what they were getting out of their team because I do think the other three are showing a lot of promise. I think, and Gwyn is absolutely gunning. So maybe they just kind of wanted to push the team forward more than they
Yeah.
expected. I don't know.
Again, I don't think any of us are saying like this move in terms of trying to win right now is a bad move. Like I think Tej is a significantly better player than him at this current day. I don't. I
yep,
think Legend has a chance to become a better player than Tej. You know, in the future of his career, I think he has a lot of talent. I think he could be better than him. I don't think any of us are like, "What are you doing? Like this is going to hurt you." Like right now in the immediate future, but we're just talking more about the offseason plan. Like it makes no sense. Like if you were gonna sign him and you only are gonna give him 2 or 3 games to play and develop and then cut him, like you might as well have just not signed him. Like
hmm
you might as well have just signed somebody else. Like you might as well have just brought T John right away. Um,
Mhm.
I'm
yeah,
assuming they couldn't get Alluka because obviously they would have got him to play the flex because he was using an AR a lot and is more of a flex player. So we'll talk about him in a sec. But yeah, it's just a complete mismanagement by this org. Like they also like they threw him on a team with no like clear vets
that's
or leaders. Like they threw him on a team with Lunars, who's a pretty new player to the CDL. Gwyn, who is he's been in the league a couple years, but he's not a guy that I necessarily see taking on like a leadership role and taking a young player under his wing. Because he's still kind of learning himself.
yeah,
Uh, and then Abe, like another player who's brand new to the league. Like he has one match of experience at EWC or one tournament of experience at EWC, but otherwise it's just been, you know, in challengers. Like I, I don't know. They just completely set him up for failure. I feel bad for him. I hope he's able to, land on his feet and continue to grow in challengers. I did see that he has like because he was on a pro team for 2 weeks, he has like 6,000 pro points. So I think like him by himself on his own roster of one would be like the 10th seed already in challengers. So I'm
damn,
guessing obviously seeding matters a lot in challengers. So I'm guessing he'll be picked up by a solid, uh, pretty solid team. I think if the huntsman team wasn't doing so well, they'd probably bring him back under the Optic brand a little bit. But they're seem to be playing well and seem to like the players. So yeah, just
That's one thing.
super
I was
unfortunate.
kind of shocked. We were talking about I don't know if we should say this for the matches, but like I was watching the Surge matches, and then it seemed like Lunars was taking more of the IGL, kind of the more veteran leadership, whereas I was kind of more expecting, Gwyn to kind of take that leadership role, but it really seemed like Lunars was the vocal one, kind of saying like commanding things in game.
Mm, yes, from a veteran standpoint, but I think it's also always it's just in general easier for an AR to take that role, especially Lunars
yeah,
being the main. It's just always easier because if you obviously it's not always going to work like the AR is in the back. Like that's not how it always works. It's not Black Ops 2 anymore. The AR isn't just anchoring spawns, like so they're not always in the back. But in general, like your subs are going to be more pushed up, and your AR is going to be more on the back line, and like it's a lot easier to see the grand scheme of things when you're behind everything and can kind of like call out as opposed to a sub who's kind of they're just in the mix, going, especially in modern COD with how fast it is. Like it's a little bit easier for an AR to be an IGL or just have more like more ability to talk in the comms just because they're seeing more and they're also playing a little bit slower of a role. Like
Mhm.
they're not in the mix, they can see a little more. So that doesn't surprise me too much. Like the times where you see subs being a little more vocal is if it's like an extreme veteran or like I remember when Kenny was talking about on LAT and Vanguard, like the main reason they switched him to the sub was to have a more vocal voice on the sub, because they had like
Yeah.
Draz and Envoy or whatever playing um with subs, and like at the time Draz wasn't a super vocal player and Envoy like kind of was, but having Octane and Kenny, the two most vocal players both on ARs, kind of like messed with them.
Mhm.
So they switched those two. But yeah, I get what you're saying just from a veteran standpoint, but I do think it in general is a little bit easier for an AR to be more vocal. Less
Yeah.
going on too. Like you're not playing as fast usually. Any other thoughts on Legend? Obviously, let's talk about Teach for a sec. I'm assuming
Eesh.
Alluka probably turned them down, or Omit was like recommending he doesn't go there just because like he's probably going to get a better offer than getting offered by the worst team in the league currently. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't think Teach is a bad pickup for them. Uh,
He's solid.
it's tough for me to be like, oh, they should have picked up this because again, I'm not as in tune with challengers, so it's hard for me. Obviously, like I know Alluka would be a really good pickup because he's like the hot commodity right now, but at the same time, I think it would have been tough for them to get him. And I like Tej makes sense again because the chemistry with Gwyn, like he's played with him. And I do think if this team had a player like Tej instead of Legend, I can see instantly how much they would improve just because like Tej is pretty like steady, gonna make the right plays and respawn. He's gonna be a
Mhm.
good search player. Like I think he's overall gonna bring a lot to their team. I don't think this
Yeah.
makes them some amazing team, but I do think it pushes them more towards like pushing for an 8 seed because, like Brad mentioned, Abe, Gwyn, and Lunars all have shown some pretty nice flashes so far this year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think Tej bringing his consistency and not having a player who just like isn't fully aware of what's going on, and it's not a fault to Legend. He's learned the game. Like he was thrown into a really hard spot. Uh, but I like Tej on this team,
He,
and I'm a big fan of Tej. So this instantly is one of my teams that I'm watching this year. I'm rooting for Surge this year. I just like the players in the team. Gwyn's a
I
Colts
feel
fan. I
like
gotta ride with him. One of the two players in the league that are Colts fans now that I know of. Gwyn and Merck, two Indiana-born players.
yeah, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, it's all U.S. players on the top. Thoughts on Tej before I move on?
It's good. Solid.
Yeah, it's like
Mm.
it's not
Good
something you can
search
get super
player.
hyped about, but it's like he's solid.
He's that safe, like a safe and steady pick.
Yeah, he's a very high floor pick. I feel like the ceiling's limited, but like he's gonna come in and he's gonna be decent. Like he's gonna be an average player, and like
Yeah.
sometimes for some of these teams, like it says they just like end right here. It says team management believes they cannot allow this lack of performance to continue. They're just looking for somebody to come in and they want a known commodity that's just going to be steady. I saw
Hmm.
somebody, it was hilarious. They were like, Tej just like every offseason doesn't talk to any other players to get on a roster, weasels his way into a team to pay his crumble bill. And I was like, dude, come on, don't do Tej like that.
Teach.
um, but yeah, let's get into the matches. I saw
Just do it.
I want to talk about this best KD leaderboard. Um, we got Falcons in Carolina. We can save the Falcons snaking controversy for the match where it more happened in, and the next match. But Falcons
King
in
Snake.
yeah, Falcons the 3-0 over Carolina. Impressive. Obviously two teams that we were looking, to see more out of. Um, Neither of them had a win coming into this match, and Falcons are able to get a 3-0 pretty handily. Obviously, just a green carpet and a complete red carpet for Carolina. Just did not look good for the side of Carolina to get completely outclassed by a team like Falcons, who looks a little shaky. Um, Falcons didn't beat anybody amazing this weekend, but I will say, like, have a little more faith in them. Again, I would like to see them do something like this against a top team
Yeah.
and not a couple more mid-pack to bottom teams, but they're trending in the right direction because a team like Falcons should be beat like with the players on their roster, even if it doesn't fit necessarily. Like when you got 3 world champions on your roster, the caliber of Celium, Kismet, Pred, like you should be beating teams like Carolina.
Oh, 100%.
So I'm not overly impressed. I'm a little bit worried about Carolina though to look this bad. I still have faith in Craze Lurks. Like I like that duo. There's a lot of talent there, but I don't not looking great after this match.
Yeah. Kind of like, like you said, it could be like an off day,
Yeah.
or, Falcons could just be on one that match.
Yeah, and Carolina only played 2 matches so far, like as compared to a team like Falcons who's played 4. So a little bit less dose for Carolina, a little
That
bit
is
less
true.
sample size, but I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in this team to be amazing. I just like the young players.
Yep.
Any other thoughts on this one? It was a pretty quick one.
Yeah, pretty quick one. I don't know. I think Falcons might be turning a new leaf, but like you said, I think it'd be good to see it against a good team or a better team, I should say.
Yeah. Minnesota versus Breach. Breach are able to take this one 3-2. Snoopy and Nasty kind of dealing the Dammy both over 100 kills. Kremp had another nice series. A reverse sweep from the side of Boston. Man, what was it? Was
It's
it
gotta hurt.
yeah, I mean, it sucked for Minnesota because when I think of Minnesota so far this year, they've been like one of the surprise teams, I would say. Like, none of us thought they were going to be terrible, but they've looked very competitive in their
Mhm.
matches, and including against like Optic. Like they've looked pretty good at times to the point where we're like, okay, this could be a 6 through 8 team, like a solid champs team. So for them to get up to 1 on a team like Boston, who's kind of in that same range, and then to blow it in a reverse sweep fashion is just sucky because it feels like for how positive we've talked about G2, they're sitting at 1-2 going into the break. For how
Yeah.
positive we've been on them, which kind of sucks.
Hmm. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I watched this match and I mean the hard point was neck and neck, but then after the search I was like, okay, yeah, this is gonna be a 3-0, no worries.
Yep.
And Boston comes back and they show some fight. I don't know if it was more of a G2 saying we got this one in the bag kind of thing, or if it was just Boston saying, hey, we gotta turn it up. But I mean, it was a fun match to watch. But yeah, definitely disappointing for Minnesota, just because I mean, if you when you beat them like that in the search, you gotta close it out.
Yeah.
I understand maybe overload isn't your mode, but I mean the HP, it's just
And
it's what are you doing? It's like me and eights.
Yeah, this is UNH reverse swept.
Hey,
he starts shaking after the third map.
it's happened way too many times. It's happened way too many times.
So Brad knows what it feels like.
Dude,
Minnesota
Overload is
side.
such a
It's so
weird
different.
mode. I like it, and I think it's going to continue to get better, and I think it's going to be very fun to play. But it is just so odd. Is like the word I'd use because it's so much quicker. Like the maps can be over. Like if you don't have any overtime in either of the rounds, it's like 2 5-minute rounds. Whereas like in CTF, you could have stalemates and overtime and control with stopping the point. Like if it goes 3-2 and there's a lot of time stoppage with one guy in the point, the rounds can last a lot longer. It feels like an overload game can be over just so quick.
Hmm. Yeah.
It seems
Yeah.
like it can be it seems like it could be even more of a swing mode in the sense of you could be down 2-0, but you could blow a team out in 5 minutes, 6 minutes. If you just hit the
Mhm.
score limit, you can just blow them out. It could be under 10 minutes and you just steamroll them through a map. It feels like it could be a big swing mode. But yeah, shout out to Boston. They're able to get it done here. And they disappoint me. Whenever they're the new Florida Mutineers. I pick them to win, they lose. I pick them to lose, they win. Last match, Saturday, Toronto 3-0's Vancouver. Again, not a whole lot to talk about for Vancouver here because they're just not on the level of Toronto, and they made a team change since this match was
Yeah.
played. Only close map really is the 6-5 in search. Joe fried, Kleenex fried, everybody fried. I don't even really want to talk about this match. New Vancouver
They're
roster.
all fried.
Like,
Yep.
sorry, Toronto beating them 3-0 doesn't move me a ton for Toronto. It's nice to see them take care of business, but this is the team they should beat.
Yeah.
We're
Shall we
expecting
beat
them to be a
them?
top 4 team. They should be dominating this team 3-0 every time.
Yep.
Speaking of dominating 3-0s, LAG versus
Damn.
LAT. Yeah, an absolute steaming red carpet for LAT.
I was watching this a little bit. I tuned in, and all I saw was Ghosty was like 20-10 at the
Ghosty
Yeah.
set the
He was
KD record,
frying.
75-35 in the series. He was absolutely cooking. Was it? Yeah, the map won 38-13. He was frying them. Abizi, Hydra, Kenny, nowhere to be found in the series. Scrap fighting back a little bit, like drops his controller in the map
21.
3. Kenny could not get anything going. He tweeted about that in the map 3. It was a horrible map for him. He was 13-31.
I feel that.
Just yeah, I mean, and then we have Aches doing a press tour for Alluka, trying to get Kenny dropped for Alluka. Interesting. I don't know. Gentlemates are a great team. LAT, I expect to be a great team. They haven't been, too good so far this year. They're 2-1, but I'd say we all would agree that LAT hasn't looked as good as we thought they would look early on. Like
Yeah.
they've been winning matches, which is good. Obviously, you'd rather be winning matches and not looking as good than losing them. But they kind of got dominated this
Yeah.
match, and I don't know. We got people calling they need to get Alluka on LAT now for Kenny.
It's
Uh,
funny. I
I
don't know about that.
think both are an overreaction in some ways. I think Alluka is an awesome player, but he had a Challengers Cup where he had a very nice weekend. He's German, I believe. I think he's a
Yes.
German player. I think his English is pretty solid. I don't know for sure. I know he is German. Or I'm pretty sure he's German. Um,
Hmm.
which is kind of cool because I don't really know of any like German players we have in the CDL, so that will
Right.
be cool when he is
Yeah.
inevitably in. He will be in at some point this year, obviously. I'm assuming, but yeah, I mean, they want to make the argument for Luca to come in for Kenny. I don't necessarily agree. I would say that pretty much everybody thought that this roster was top 2 with Optic, so I don't think going 2-1 and losing to one of the other top 3 teams and playing 3 matches, you should be making any changes. Because again, I
Yeah.
think Alluka is amazing. I think he's going to be an awesome player, but also like he's 18 and he just started playing challengers. Like, is he ready to get thrown? Maybe he has Mercules. Maybe he's ready to get thrown on the big stage and he's going to dominate. But also, it's a pretty big risk to make a change for LAT prior to going to land. Because I know Kenny will show up on land, and I know he will show up in the big moments.
Oh
Alluka, I
yeah.
hope he does. I think he's going to be an awesome player at the CDL level, but I don't know yet. And I
Yep.
would hate to see you make a mistake because I do believe if Kenny would be dropped fully, I would assume somebody will probably pick him up. Um, so I don't know. I don't agree with that at all. But yeah, it was a rough showing for LAT. They got just completely dominated in this
Yeah.
series.
They got stomped. I will say, it's gonna be tough for LAT to win games if their subs are just throwing stinkers up too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, I forgot to bring that up. That was the other point I was going to bring up. Like, we're calling for Kenny's head, but like a BZ had a 0.68 and Hydra had a 0.71. Like, any team a BZ and Hydra on is built for them to kind of just go slay out and, take over games. I mean,
Yeah.
if those guys drop in 0.7s in every series, like, LAT is not going to win many matches. Like,
Yeah.
if your sub duo is dropping a combined 0.7, you're not going to win a lot of matches. Like, it's also tough for your ARs to get going because your subs open up the map. Trust me, I've played when everybody has played. If you're using an AR and your subs are not creating space in the map and not getting kills as an AR, your job becomes infinitely harder because everywhere you look, you have a sub sliding on you. And it's a
Yep.
lot harder to get a kill when a sub is up in your face with an AR. Like, not making it. Kenny had a 0.5. He didn't play well. But
Yeah.
Hydra and Abizi were also, playing not nearly up to their standards.
Yeah. They'll be just fine after these, these few week breaks.
They will
Stuff.
be they'll be just fine. Gentlemates though, Ghosty, we've mentioned it for a bit. He looks like this is his game. We were talking about him last week. We were like, Ghosty looks awesome. And again, that to me is very, very, very scary for this team because Neptune looks really good. It looks like last year was not a fluke.
Mm-hmm.
He looks very good. And we kind of all expected like Neptune Sib kind of be like the stars of this team in terms of slaying power. And Envoy, he's gonna, play his role like he always does. We figured Ghosty was gonna be that steady force on the main. But if Ghosty continues to play like this and just be a superstar level player, like this changes the trajectory of this team. Like,
Oh yeah.
they're looking at being like probably, a top two team in the game, like wire to wire. If Ghost is going to continue playing like this, obviously he's not going to drop 2.1s every series, but like you know what I mean, playing like a star.
Yeah. I will say we did see this ghosty in MW3 with LET.
Yeah, he had a little. It was that like towards the end, right at the end when they
Yeah.
started doing well, he had a little bit of that takeover. But overall in the year, yeah, he was just like a solid player.
Yeah.
Um,
Obviously, last year he couldn't really obviously do that with the players he had.
yeah, he had to take more of a backseat and kind of
Backseat.
be more of a role player because he's playing with Hydra and Scrap. Like he's
He
playing more
took
of
the
a
karma
role.
role.
Yeah.
Yep.
Brad, our next match, your boys Miami fall 3-2 to Optic. Looked
Yeah.
like after that map 4, I mean they had all the momentum in the world. Like it was what like 249 to like 180 something.
Yeah.
It
And
was
they just like kept hopping on that what is it, P2? Yeah.
the
P2
middle areas.
on Den. They just kept hopping on that like side, like over on the rooftop side. They just
Mhm.
kept, Metal's got a 2-piece, and Optic just like kept touching point and just like couldn't get the final kill. And Miami held them off. They had the rotation and they won off that next rotation. And they rip off like whatever it was, 70 straight points.
Yep.
To take out Optic when they were at 249. And from there, obviously, they won both hard points. Optic with a Neslo on Miami, just like we all expected.
Yep.
And I mean, after that map 4, I was kind of like, wow, it's going to happen again. Whether it's Mutineers or Heretics, that's what they do. They beat Optic, and obviously, Optic buckles down in the map 5 behind 12 from none other than Mercules to
Marcus
close it out.
Unreal.
But hey, I take more from this series of like I think Optic is going to improve from this because again, shottzyy and huke 0.77 and 0.84 for the two of them, and like shottzyy has had some struggles numbers wise this year. I think he's going to improve. So I do think Optic maybe isn't in full form yet in terms of their sub duo, but Mercules is as advertised. He's still awesome. Dashy's still awesome. But I want to, kind of shout out Miami here. Like Rencor and Super. Rencor, obviously the hard carry. Again, he's best player in their team. Shocker. I think we all kind of knew that.
So good.
But for Miami
He's
to
so
win 2
good.
hard points against Optic this early with this little practice, that gives me hope that, they can be the team we think they can.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I was I was watching this game intently. Vamos. Dude, I hope I didn't spoil the Den hardpoint for you because so Brock and I were watching the matches a little bit. Then he just left, and then like so I was
How
sitting
did
there
he?
with okay, dude, you just freaking left, and then all of a sudden Miami rattles off like 70 or 80 straight points, and I'm over here like tweaking. I'm like, oh my god, this is insane, this is nuts. And so yeah, I texted you, and I apologize if I spoiled it for you. I had to get my excitement out somewhere. But no, that was an electric hardpoint. And then was it the Den hardpoint? I think it was where like shottzyy had like 14 more deaths than like everybody else on the team. Like he was just engaged. He was just I mean he was flying across the map. He had to. If he had so many more engagements than the rest of the team, and it's like I don't know. I feel like shottzyy needs to slow down a little bit, and I think maybe that's one thing they take away from this. But like you said, though, I think it was the exposure hardpoint. I think it was Drake started out like 0-8 or something like that, or 0-7 or something like that. He started off really rough, and then he reeled it in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I'm coming away from this series really hopeful for Miami. I mean, it seems like the teamwork is there, and I feel like especially like this like how we talked about last year with that break, that what month break before champs or whatever. I feel like Miami is going to be one of those teams, and LAT is going to be one of those teams that really benefit from that month break where they're just going to be able to practice all the time, get right, and I think they're going to be coming with a vengeance come after the break.
Yeah, I agree. They're under practice compared to most teams, so I do think that break will do them very well. Unless obviously it might be a little tough because like with a lot of them being from outside the country, they might be traveling home
True.
for the holidays, so practice might be a little tough.
Yeah.
But if they come back, obviously the first matches are like on the 9th or something, I think, is the first set of matches. So like they probably will come back with like an extra week or something to practice. But I'm thinking a lot of scrims aren't going on because a lot of people are probably traveling home, especially for them. Travel's a little more extreme than a lot of these players live in Texas and maybe they're from like Illinois. Travel's pretty
Yeah.
quick travel day. You just fly up, you're home. It's like not hard. Whereas like, and you could also just go for like the weekend, because you're
Yeah.
in the U.S. a little easier. Obviously, I'm assuming, like Trake's he's from Argentina. I think the other players are from Spain. Like if they're going home, a little harder to just fly home for a day and go see family when you're going that
Yeah.
far. Like a little harder. So I'm assuming they're gonna do that. But I would agree. Like in general, a break and being able to get more practice, like that should help them out. I think like them, LAT, like you mentioned, I think that benefits them a lot. I feel like a team like Surge benefits from it, being able to pick up Tej and get a lot more practice in with him. Realistically, if every team does it correctly, it should benefit all of them, like getting that extra practice in. But you never know.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of
Subs.
Surge, what are you gonna say?
I was saying that subs were not having a fun time in this matchup at all.
No. Not having a fun time is Legend in this next match we're about to talk about. Cloud9
Yeah.
versus Vancouver. I feel like this is the one that was kind of the nail in the coffin for him. It's one of those series where, all four players are kind of at the end. They're kind of looking side to side. Like, Abe's like, I had a 1.05 win Lunars
They've been
earlier. I
there.
also had a 1.15. And then Legend, not only, it's not the 0.65 or 0.64 that, like, hurts. It's just the damage is the big thing to look at here, not the KD. It's the
Yeah.
damage. Like, you guys looking down here, we got 9,200 damage for Abe, 9,300 for Gwyn, 8,300 for Lunars. Even on the other side, about 8K, 9,300, 8K, 8K. Like everybody's around 8K plus. Like, and Legends at 5,500. It's just the damage stat. It's like, you can drop a 0.65 sometimes and you were doing all kinds of damage. You just weren't finishing kills, making everybody one shot. Teammates are cleaning them up. But then there's this kind of 0.6 where it's like he had the 0.6, but he also wasn't anywhere near anybody else in damage.
Yeah.
He just isn't comfortable on the map. He's just not fully sure how to play yet, and that's okay. He just started playing, so it makes sense. But again, like this is the kind of match you look at. Granted, Cloud9 isn't like a top tier team. This is the match you look at for Surge, and you're like, if they had a guy like Tej, who's very good at Search and probably would bring a 0.95 on average in the right plays. Like if they have Tej on here dropping a 0.95, I think that makes a 10-point swing up in that map one, where Legend had a 0.7. I think it potentially swings the 6-4 Search in their favor, where he was 3-8. And the map 3, they lose 3-2, where he was 15-23. Like I think Tej coming in maybe swings, and this is maybe a 3-0 for the side of Surge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Like genuinely with this map, with how close all of these maps were, if Legend would have even had like 7K damage, I think they probably could have won this match. Like they might have 3-0'd them.
Yeah.
Like that's how close the maps were.
And that's where I feel like you're looking at, if you're, the Surge, you're kind of looking at it and you're like, Gwyn and Abe look to be a formidable sub duo. Like there's a lot of talent there, and you're looking at Lunars and you're like, he seems to be a pretty solid main AR. Like on the right squad, he seems to be pretty solid. And I think they're looking at it like Tej also being a veteran, I think, is something they're looking at. Granted, not maybe known for having the best comms. I feel like he has improved recently, like over the last few years when we see him and listening and stuff. But I definitely see the vision. I think we all can agree. We see what they're going for with this. It's just unfortunate had to go this way for Legend, but again, good win for Cloud9. You're always going to take a 3-0. It doesn't matter if the other team is going through the struggles. Like you can only play who's in front of you. Like,
yep. Win's a win.
Win's a win. And Cloud9, again, they deserve some respect. Everybody, including us, was saying they're number 12. They're number 12. I don't care who they beat. They've looked formidable. Like they're a decent team that can make any match close. Like they're a solid team.
Yep.
Afro's been
very good. All right. Riyadh Falcons versus the Boston Breach. Brad, your boys Falcons. Boston.
Thanks for the points.
Boston, I've picked against you twice. I picked you once. Every time I pick against them, they win. This team just hates me, and I hate them. Falcons, Boston. Falcons get the win. Obviously, the biggest story from this match is not the actual maps. It's the Celium thing. I mean, come on. That's egregious.
That was some nice pumps.
That was egregious. Well, that was like a 233 to 180, and then they didn't score a point. They ripped off like 70 straight points. That was just egregious. Like, there's not even a debate if that was the red card of all red cards. The ref held up like 6 red cards to him before he finally took it and left.
It was.
That was egregious. Like, what are we doing, Cell? Come on. I want to see that
Yeah,
format flow.
gotta play for the win with some pump fakes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was where is it? Here's the map flow: 226 to 147, and then it was 232 to 175. So the Riyadh Falcons, they scored 75 points to 1
Yeah,
compared to Boston to end the game. Um, I mean, come on, like the tweet was a nasty tweet. Is that who it was? That was hilarious. He's like, it's every year with this guy.
yeah.
That was such a funny British tweet. Like it's
And it
every year with
was
this guy. I just read it in his voice, and um, yeah, it just no shame. I mean, it's nice to see Falcons get another win on the board. Cold War came, he was shooting in that map for
Cold War came back.
your boy. Again, I think we did see though the problem for Boston kind of reared its head in this one. Apart from if you want to like actually kind of act like the snaking, wasn't as much of a thing and kind of talk about the match. I do think we saw the problem rear its head for Boston again, and that is the consistency in slaying. Like
Mhm.
Purge dropping a .73, it just can't happen. Like it's our concern. It's probably my biggest concern with this team always is the slaying. Nasty and Cammy like around a .94, .93, which on the correct team is fine for the role they're playing, but on this team, like unfortunately the subs don't pick up the slaying slack all the time. So they're gonna have to make up for it more. And it's just a common theme I think that will happen with this team a lot. Like when they play teams that are gonna shoot back and, shoot really well, they're gonna struggle to slay with them. And Falcons is not even towards the top of that list. Like there are a lot more teams that are going to outslay them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm left with
He's
this
all the
match again.
firepower.
Like Falcons, cool. Celium stop snaking. In Boston, like you are who I think you are. They're just a solid team, but I just the ceiling is limited.
Yeah. King Snake back at it again.
Brad, we're over to your boys. They're able to get a 3-2 victory on the board over Cloud9. Again, Afro looked really good in this series overall. Probably looked like the best player on Cloud9 again. Everybody on Heretics positive on this series. A green carpet on their side. Good to see Heretics get a win on the board. But again, like I expect them to beat a team like Cloud9. I think they'll polish it and be able to get this in like a 3-1, 3-0 fashion as the year goes on. But again, respect to Cloud9. Like they just keep
Fighting.
series close. They're fighting. They're a scrappy team. Like they're
Mhm.
1-2 on the year, but I mean, what is it? Yeah, they're 1-2 on the year, and they're 7-6 in map count. Kind of funny
Wow.
stat.
Yeah, it is.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, so what does that mean? They've won. They lost both their matches 3-2 for both their losses,
Yep.
and then they won 3-2. So they've had a 3-2 every series.
Mhm.
But 7-6 map count, 1-2 record, like they're fighting, and I respect it because everybody counted them out, and they're an okay team. Anything
Yeah.
else in your boys, Brad, or should we do the last match quick? Because that was a banger.
I mean, I'm just excited for Trakes. Honestly, I hope he keeps on developing because I mean, I see him play Search, and he's a good Search player.
Yeah.
And so like, and that's kind of like I feel like the Miami like calling card is they're always a tough team in Search. And if Trakes can keep on playing and this team just keeps developing, this team could be scary. And I'm getting like because I mean, yes, Real was a big part, but like I don't know. This team is kind of making waves, and I don't think this is one of those teams that's like, yeah, they're gonna fall off a little bit. I think they're only gonna get better, and I think that's the exciting part about this is like, yes, they won in a 3-2 fashion to C9, but like you said, C9 is better than we expected. I think, oh, they're a lot better than I expected, to be honest with you. But yeah, no, I'm excited for Miami. Honestly, like watching C9 maps aren't as cringe as I was expecting to watch, but no, I mean I think the league overall is a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I would agree that Miami is going to continue to improve. I think they are as well, but you mentioned them. I want Real on this team so bad. Like Metals had an
Yeah.
awesome series, and he overall like has been pretty solid. Like he always Metals is always solid, but
Yeah.
man, I want Real on this team because I just think like ceiling would be so much higher. Like if I had Real on this team and Trakes could develop with him, like I just wish
That'd
it
be
would happen.
disgusting.
I do think that this team is going to keep improving, though. I agree. I don't think they're like a fall off candidate. I think they're a team that with more practice, I think I still don't see them really cracking into the top 4 consistently. To me, they're still like 5, 6, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Mhm.
But they're a good team. Our last match made me feel vindicated. I don't know. I think Brock pick the same on this one? Well, Brock's cam just went really blurry. I just look over
What?
and I saw Brock's cam went really blurry.
It is.
I
I
think
don't know
we're
what
good
happened,
now.
guys.
It'll fix
Nope.
itself. It'll fix itself in a sec.
Sorry, guys. I'm blurry for some reason.
It'll fix itself. But Brock, you picked phase 3-2, right?
Yes.
Brad, did you have phase 3-2 or did you pick Ultra?
Wait, nope. I picked
I
phase
have
1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had phase 3-1 as well.
I believe I had them 3-2. Yeah, I had them 3-2. Which, yeah, man, I'm impressed again by Simp in this game. Like, my MVP push, that was one of my bold predictions, is Simp is going to win another MVP. And obviously, it is very early to be saying something like that, but he looks incredible. Like, he is so good.
Yeah, he does.
They
Yeah, it
obviously
looks so good.
they lose a tough map 1, and he was shooting, and they win a round 11 in map 2. Obviously, go down 2-1 and then rip off 2 straight. So win a hard point, and the map 4 was just dominant. 100-point club. Simp was 29 and 18. And then the map 5, 7 and 7. Abuza had a nice map 5, but I mean, the side of phase, like, for how shaky we were, like, a lot of people were like, this phase team is just not that good. The roster's not that good. And I think, like, all of us, for the most part, I think all 3 of us, maybe I'm wrong, but Brock's still blurry with the house. All 3 of us, like, kind of were like, I'm not panicking on phase. Like, this is a good roster.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
and I
Agreed.
thought they would maybe take a little bit longer to figure it out, but like, they beat Toronto here, who looks like a really good team, and it's like they're figuring it out maybe even quicker than we all thought they would. Like,
Yeah.
I do think they maybe need to get a little bit more consistent in terms of the other players, because like we can't expect Sim to just be the MVP in every match, you know?
Yeah.
But FaZe are a good team, man. These are 2 good teams and 2 teams that I expect to have a lot of good battles this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Booze is pretty good, Brad.
Drop him on his freaking dome piece, dude.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
Telling you.
Brock's back.
Oh, hi, guys. I'm back from being blurry for some reason.
Nobody wants to look at that ugly mug. Wait,
Oh
did
my
I say that out
God.
loud? Shoot.
I'll see you on the steps tonight, buddy.
Abuza's better
All
than
right.
Brad.
I won last time. Don't you forget it.
I wasn't even trying. I'll see you on the 8th streets.
8th streets.
Free
Brad's
real estate.
terrified.
Brad
Not
just took a big
not
gulp.
fry.
All right.
It's my team that sells me.
Okay.
You hear?
That's enough on that.
It's kind of true.
I got a tier list, and whoever made this tier list, shout out to you, because the logos look like the cleanest logos I've seen. I need to save this tier list immediately for all year when we're doing our power rankings, because whoever made this, they put like a nice black background on it, and like the logos are like really high quality, and like they just, whoever you cooked with this, whoever saved this,
Shout out.
it looks really clean. So we'll probably be using this one all year. But we're gonna do power rankings quick, just kind of a standard tier list into S down to D. We'll rank them in order in the tiers, based on kind of how you guys think. I think we can. Let's just start off with an easier one. I feel like Optic kind of has to be up in S again.
Yep.
Hasn't lost a match. They're 9-3 map count. They're the only team that hasn't lost a match, which is kind of funny. Like, we're 2 weeks in, and every single team has lost a match except one. That's a lot. Usually, there's at least a couple undefeated teams. You know, it's kind of crazy that all the teams have lost a match except one, and all the teams have won a match except 2. It's pretty crazy. Like, a good showing of parity so far. But I think we'll throw Optic in S, and then let's go from there. Somebody pick a team.
I think the gentleman should be an A.
And I think, unless somebody disagrees, I think I'd put him at number 2 right now.
Yes, that's what I would put him.
Agree.
I know technically, was it FaZe that beat them?
FaZe, yeah, FaZe beat
yeah.
them big too.
Which I do feel like gives FaZe a solid argument for being right up there at number 2 as well, because they did beat Toronto and Gentlemates, who are 2 and 3 in our standings. Toronto's only loss and Gentlemates' only loss comes at the hands of FaZe, and then FaZe's only loss is to LAT. So like,
Hmm.
I feel like if you're
Yeah.
looking at FaZe, like they played Toronto, Gentlemates, and LAT. Like that's about as hard of a schedule. Obviously, they didn't play Optic, who was number one, but they played probably 2 through 4 in a lot of
Mhm.
people's eyes, and they beat 2 of the 3 of them. So I think you can make an argument for FaZe. I will agree with you though, Brad. I think I would put Gentlemates at 2, but I
I
would put
agree.
FaZe in A tier with them, behind them.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
I personally would put 3 teams in the A tier, and then I'd have phase 3 is where I put them.
Who's your third team in the A tier?
Toronto
And you drop LAT into B.
B. Yeah,
Yeah, I
because I think there's a clear like I don't know, just the way the teams are playing right now. I think LAT is there's a clear gap between those 4 and then LAT, in my opinion.
I can see the argument. My only thing is I'm trying to pull up their schedule here quick. Where is it? So Toronto lost 3-2 to Vegas. They 3-0 to Vancouver, which to me is kind of I'm not overly impressed with that win. And then they win 3-2 against Heretics. What is just so I'm reminded of it too. Thieves. Thieves
It'd be
lost obviously
FaZe and
they got
Falcons.
dominated 3-0 against Gentlemates, and then they beat Falcons, who are kind of I would say like on the Heretics level right now. They're kind of mid pack.
Yeah, you watch yourself.
And they 3-0'd FaZe, who we think is a really good team. So like I feel like in terms of quality of wins, I would lean towards LAT. They also have that one really bad loss. I don't think I can put LAT and Toronto on different levels. I think they both have to go on the same level,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Do you think Toronto is closer to being a B or an A team? Because I'd be okay with putting Toronto in B, but I do think Gentlemates and FaZe belong in A very easily.
So
Toronto is kind of that like B plus, I think. You know what I'm saying?
yes, the weird
I,
thing
but
to
I think
me.
Toronto is the clear cut 4.
Let me pull this up quick. The weird thing to me
Yeah.
though is
Mhm.
think that I kind of like FaZe, Ultra, LAT, and Gentlemates kind of all on the same tier, but I also kind of don't. Like,
Okay.
because I don't like the way that having 4 teams in A tier looks.
Yeah.
I almost kind of think like Gentlemates are a slight step up over FaZe right now. I almost kind of want to put like FaZe, Ultra, and LAT all on the B tier. All of them together in the B tier. Because I feel like Gentlemates is like, I feel like the ceiling we've
They're
seen
like
Gentlemates hit is just like a little bit like higher than
better.
those 3.
I get down with that.
You know what
So
I
I see what
mean?
you're saying. Yeah.
I see what you're saying, but I really do think Gentlemates and FaZe are really close. Like close enough where I
LAT
don't know
3-0
if I can
FaZe though.
separate. That's a good point.
Like that's what I'm saying. I feel like
Then
all of them are. I feel like Gentlemates. We've
Yeah.
seen them like the 3-0 that Gentlemates had against LAT was dominant and was the highest ceiling we've seen any of those teams we're talking about hit. Because like
Mhm.
FaZe got 3-0'd by Thieves, but all the matches like all the maps were very close. Like it wasn't a
mhm.
Yeah.
dominant 3-0 from LAT. FaZe was in all
Mhm.
those maps. They were very close. And like I feel like we've if we were like stacking Gentlemates, Toronto, Thieves, and FaZe right now, I feel like Gentlemates has shown us the highest peak by far.
Yeah.
And then I think the other 3, we've seen really good matches from LAT where they look good, and then also a really bad match. FaZe, we've seen them get 3-0, but they looked really good in other matches. And kind of the same thing from Toronto. Like, they also lost to FaZe. I feel like those teams are all beating up at each other, and I kind of just like Gentlemates to kind of be towards the top. Because why am I like blanking? Who was Gentlemates lost to?
FaZe
Yeah.
three
Yeah, that's
two.
right. It was the 3-2. So, like, I don't know. I want to put FaZe. I kind of want to go FaZe LAT Ultra as my order, but I'm up for debate.
FaZe LAT Ultra. LAT over Ultra.
Yeah, I just think
They played.
if they played today on LAN, LAT would win.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
LAT
don't think
beat
they would
FaZe.
on land.
I
I
mean,
guess they
Ultra
did.
lost to FaZe.
Ultra lost to
I don't,
FaZe.
LAT just looks so dysfunctional right now.
Again, they were 2-0 before this weekend.
On map.
I know.
I think that's a little like I think if you would have flipped like if LAT would have had that match as their first match and then they would have ended with
Mhm.
the back-to-back wins that they had in week 1 and they 3-0'd FaZe to end it, you'd be like FaZe looks so dysfunctional right now because they just got 3-0'd.
Fair enough. Provide valid points.
Like, I don't know.
Phase LAT.
And you
So
both
what are you
ultras.
trying to do right now?
Again, I don't think. I think putting ultra, or we gotta stop calling him ultra. Koi. I think koi. I think if you want to put them ahead of LAT, again, I don't think it's crazy. I think it's completely valid, and I think like I'll let Brock be the last vote. So we have Optic 1 and S. I think we all agree there, right? We have
Yep.
Gentlemates number 2 in A. I think we all agree there.
Mhm.
I'm voting that we move Phase LAT and Ultra or Koi all the way down to B. Just because I feel like Gentlemates has shown a slightly higher ceiling. I think those teams can fit in B just fine. But I'm voting we go Phase 3, LAT 4, Ultra 5. Brad's voting Phase 3, Koi 4, LAT 5, right?
Yeah.
So Brock, it's up to you. LAT 4 or Koi 4?
Koi 4.
Okay. Move Koi to 4. LAT goes to 5.
Oh wait, no. I'm
Sorry.
in the other way around.
Okay. So LAT goes to 4
I
again.
LAT
Are you-
B.
I think you're splitting hairs again because I think it's completely fair to have Koi over them, and I think it's completely fair to have LAT because again, I think if they played today, I think if they played 10 times today, it might be a 5-5 split. Like I just think they're all three of these teams on this level. I think that they would just win trade with each other if they kept playing.
Yeah.
Whereas I think like Gentlemates would come out on top in a majority of the matches against those other teams right now. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Like I think Gentlemates is just a little better. The only thing I will say is we may end up moving these guys back into A because I don't think a single team can go on the level of these guys. Like I think every other team we have left like has to be in C and D
Mm-hmm.
because I don't think they're on the level of these teams right now.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So maybe we will move them back up to A. Who knows? But I mean, the next team I see is Boston. They're the next team up. I think they
C.
go pretty firmly in C tier.
I think low end of C. I think.
Yeah, we'll move all the other teams and we'll reorder them. But I think Boston's they're for sure in C, not D tier.
Yeah, Boston's in C.
Surge's got to
Well,
go
you
in D
know who
tier.
else is next? Yeah.
Surge is.
Is there an F?
No F. I could add it if you want.
No, it's okay. D. I just think that there's like. I think like there's a clear cut bottom two, and I
Is the other
think
one
Surge
Ravens?
has. Yeah.
I think they go in D as well. I don't think they get the respect. See, I think they go above Surge and D.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
What were you gonna say though, Brad?
I was just gonna say like I think I think Vancouver can be better, especially with Tej. But I think that
Yeah.
think the way Vancouver's playing right now, I just think they're like how do I say this? They're not really on the level of somebody else. Like I think there's a clear like kind of gap in between Surge and Ravens for now.
Yeah, based on where they are right
You know
now,
what I'm saying?
I would agree. I think Ravens is going to improve, and I think they'll probably work their way up into the C tier. But where they are right now, they're a D tier team. I mean, you can't even look at their schedule and be like, "Wow, what a tough start." They're 1-6 in map count, and they played Falcons and Breach. Like,
Right.
they didn't play. Those are not great teams. Like, they're not bad teams, but those are not top end teams. Falcons and Breach are both kind of mid pack teams, whereas Surge has some tough matches in there. Like Surge had to play. I mean, Surge is 0-9. They have one map. Granted, they had to play Koi and Gentlemates, like two of our top teams, but they also had to play Cloud9. So like tough draw, but again, like I think Surge is definitely a. Sorry, I said Ravens. I meant Surge for Tej. I think Surge is definitely a team that's going to be on the move because I do think when they add Tej, I think I would with Tej once they play. I believe I'm going to at least move them ahead of Ravens. Is my thought, and maybe further. But again, we're ranking them on what they are right now.
Right. And I think they're the worst team right now.
Okay, Minnesota. I think they're C tier, but I would put them above Boston, even though they're 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Even though they lost to them.
Boston.
Even though they lost to them, I like their ceiling more.
See,
Yeah, I like
some
it.
people might just take that as hate out of you, but like
Yeah, it probably is.
I agree. I mean, it is probably, but that's why I'm here, right? I don't know. I think G2 is above Boston as well, on a non-biased standpoint. I think G2 is better, and they're playing better.
Yeah.
Lost.
I just think if I was to give you even odds on the two of them, who was going to have more CDL points this year, or who was going to maybe have the higher placement at a LAN tournament, I would take Minnesota just because I think if they catch fire, they have more upside. Like if Kremp and Estrio catch fire on a weekend, like they can beat a lot of teams. I think Mamba has a very high ceiling, and Skies has won a lot of tournaments. Like he's been there. He's a pretty high floor player, and I feel like Skies brings a lot of leadership to a team. Whereas like the Boston team, I like the players, but like they need everything to go perfect. Like they had at a couple events last year where like they had awesome wins against LAT early on. Obviously, not taking anything away from them, but like
Yeah.
I think Minnesota's ceiling is that much higher. That's why I'd rank them ahead of Boston. Even though Boston beat them in a 3-2, I know they hit them with the reverse sweep. I think Minnesota is just a little bit more talented team over time. I have more faith in them.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But I mean,
Okay.
obviously, you can argue Boston's ahead of them because they beat them. So you can make the argument for sure. Everybody good with putting them ahead of Boston? See,
Yep.
what do we think about Cloud9?
I think they're. I think they're below Boston.
I agree. Definitely in C tier though. They're
Same.
definitely a tier above those D2
Yeah,
teams.
C tier, yeah, 100%. I don't
They
think there's
play.
another team that goes into D.
Brock, you agree? Below Boston, but
Yep.
above D tier. Yeah, I don't think there's no team that goes in D either.
Yeah. Surprisingly, Cloud9 has been pretty,
Yeah, I mean,
Don't say it.
competitive.
I mean, the
to
fact
say
they're
the
in C
least.
tier is more than any of us expected. So shout out to them because they're,
Mhm.
you know what, they're making matches more entertaining because they were expected to be, pretty bad team. And pulling up their schedule here quick just so I can confirm, the teams they lost 3-2 to G2. They beat Surge 3-0 and they lost to Miami 3-2. So again, they haven't played like any world beater teams. They played the worst team in the league. And then a couple of like our more mid pack teams. But again, Minnesota and Miami are solid teams. And, they lose to both of them 3-2. Like, could have gone either way. So Cloud9 to me is showing that they're like a bottom middle pack team, which is
Mhm.
more than a lot of us expected. A lot of us expected to be
Yeah.
bottom. Next team's a tough one. Where do you guys think Falcons go?
So I would have them in the top of C. Or no, wait, hold on. Behind G2. I have them behind G2 for now.
Okay.
Behind G2.
Behind
I
G2 ahead
think,
of
yeah,
Boston.
yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
Rock, what do you
Uh,
think? I
I
think they're
think I
tough to
think I
rank.
think for me, I would take them over G2.
You think?
I don't know. Just something about I keep looking at these players. I'm like,
I know.
I would think in a series that worth like that meant a lot, they would be able to pull through, but
I know.
Mhm.
I
it is tough to rank, like you said.
I rank them
yeah.
above G2 or behind G2. Just like I do believe the Falcons have all the talent, and I think they could end up having like they have a higher ceiling by far, I think, than G2. But the way G2 is playing right now, I think they're just playing much better. They're playing with more chemistry. I just think they're playing better right now than the Falcons are. I do think the Falcons can be playing better down the road, but as of right now, I just think that G2 is better than the Falcons.
I just realized something, Brock.
Yep.
Falcons might be Ryan's gatekeeper team of the year. Brad, you don't know what this is. I am usually spot. This is the one thing I'm spot on with predictions. There's a team every year in the CDL that is like I call them the gatekeeper. They're like the wall between being a top team and being a bottom team, and they're like, who was it last year, Brock? There's like a team every year where they're good, but not great, and they always beat the bottom teams, and they always lose to the
Miami.
top teams.
But that's not even true for Miami last
Yeah,
year.
Miami beat some
They
top
did beat.
teams. I don't remember who it was last year, but Brad, there's always a team. If you watch close enough in the CDL, there's always a team. They're the easiest team to predict every year because they will never like. If you look at the list right now, it's one of these teams. They will never beat Koi, LAT, Gentlemates, Phase, or Optic. They will never beat them, but they will
Okay.
always beat like Ravens, Surge, Cloud9, like Boston or something. So it'd be like Minnesota, Miami, or like Falcons. There's always a team every year that is like they're right in the middle and they will never beat a team better than them and they will never lose to a team worse than them and they'll just make champs off getting like seventh or eighth like that. Falcons are on early watch. I mean, they got 6-1 by LAT and Optic and they beat Boston and Ravens a combined 6-1.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
interesting.
I'm down to put them ahead of minute. I don't even know. Brock, you wanted him ahead of Minnesota. Brad, you wanted him below, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I legit don't know. I don't know where I want to put him. I'm fully on board with both. I kind of agree with the Brock argument in the fact that like I just look at the players again and I'm just like, man, they have Celium, they have Pred. Like, I don't love the roles, but I do like the development. I've seen a little bit from Exnid. I'm just for ceiling. I want to put them ahead of Minnesota, but I'm not. Like if they went to a land today, I think I would maybe have more faith in Falcons getting like a top 6 as opposed to Minnesota. Just because like I don't know. I know Brad, you wanted them below, but like Selly and Pred, like Ismet, these guys going to land where I've seen them have a lot of good events. Like I think I like them a little more than I like Minnesota, but it's not a lot.
Yeah. Ryan, the team
Uh-huh.
last year that always beat the bottom, but not the top team was it was the Ravens until they made the switch.
Yeah, that's who it was. It was the
Yeah.
Ravens until they dropped Vivid.
Yeah.
They would never lose to the bottom teams, and they would just get dominated by the top teams. Like remember they'd play LAT every tournament and just get
Rio.
destroyed. Just get
Yeah.
destroyed. They definitely were
Yep.
the gatekeeper team. Brad, the last team is your boys. Miami.
I think there's a clear spot for it.
D tier.
I think they're playing the best of all the C teams. I'm trying to leave my bias at the door here, but I do think Miami is playing the best out of all the C teams right now. So I think they are the number 1 C team right now.
Brock, what do you think?
They're playing pretty good. I think I would probably take them over Falcons at this very moment.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're the top team. I think they go ahead of all those teams. However, I was just looking. They've gone 3-2 every match. They lost 3-2 to Koi in a match that looked like it was going to be a 3-0. They lost 3-2 to Optic in a match that looked like it was going to be a 3-1, and they had a miraculous comeback. Then they had a 3-2 against Cloud9. So again, like not the most impressive slate of matches. Like on one hand, they did take 2 very good teams in Koi and Optic to a Mat 5, but also like kind of got a little bit lucky to get it to a Mat 5. Obviously, great comeback, especially against Optic, but like took a lot just to get it to a Mat 5. And then, going Mat 5 against Cloud9 isn't necessarily like indicative of an awesome team. If you're a really good team, you should be beating that Cloud9 team 3-0, 3-1. I think they have a lot of room to grow, and I think they were actually the team. They are the team that maybe question the tiers a bit, where I was kind of like, maybe they kind of feel like they're a little bit of a step up from these teams, like a little bit, but I don't. They're a weird floater team because I think they're like a little bit like with a little more practice. I think they are going to be a step up from most of these C tier teams, but I also think they're definitely a step below like FaZe, LAT, and Koi, who we have in B tier. So they're in a weird floater spot. Like I feel like they belong in bottom of B and top of C.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm really excited to see what they do in this time off, because I feel like if, like you said, travel might be hard for them, especially. But if they can find any way to practice, like kind of catch up, like, and we're not even, in my eyes, we're not even seeing them at like the same level as these other teams as far as like practice goes and chemistry goes, and like if they get up to like the same amount of practice and stuff that these other teams have done, I really think that we'd be talking about Miami a little different. But again, that's got to be proven in the matches, and I'm really excited for when matches come back to see what Miami does.
Yeah, dude, must be nice to be excited. I'm just over here. I'm just over here like praying Caddy doesn't get dropped over the break, so I can keep cheering for LAT, dude.
True.
What I just got added at Twitter. Oh, Vance tweeted about the legend thing. He quote tweeted it. He said, "You picked someone up, picked up someone who needs time, surrounded him with inexperience, proceed to drop him because he's not reaching his potential fast enough. Make it make sense, please." I tweeted a
Yep.
little like on target emoji. And shout out to Topher VGC. He replied. He said, "You do great work, bro. Love listening to the pods." Shout out to that guy.
Shout out.
Oh yeah.
Also, shout out to Vance. Brad probably doesn't know about this, but I'm sworn to never say anything bad about Vance. A
War.
long-term bet since Cold War. I'm sworn to never say anything bad about him. I said that he should have been dropped for Classic and like he should have been on the team. Then immediately after that, he had like the greatest stage of all time, and they won the event. And then I said if he wins this event, I'll never say a bad word. So
Did he drop it at 1.4
yeah,
in
he was like he went
finals?
crazy. He went crazy. I said that he should have been dropped, and like literally the moment I think I low-key made him play well. The moment I said
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
that
so.
he should be dropped, he just instantly went crazy. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, you're just a beast.
That's fine.
I'm gonna reply to this guy. But yeah, I guess last thing, where do you think Alluka is gonna go? I mean, it's just a matter of time before he signs. Where do you think he's gonna go? Both of you, flex player, looks unreal, 18 years old. People are calling him the next Merc. What team do you think he's gonna end up on? Please don't say LAT.
Mm, let me look here.
Hmm. That's a good question.
What team does he want to go to?
True.
All
There's
right.
no way he goes to Optic. No way he goes to Paris.
He's a flex player, or is he can
Yeah.
he like?
He's
can
Kind of
you-
more of a
can you-
flex. Yeah, is where I probably would have played. He looked disgusting with an AR in his hands.
Is he possible to run a main?
I mean, like, sure, I guess any AR could, but I feel like he's more of a.
Is it possible for him to run a sub? Because drop
No, I
medals
don't-
on his head for him.
No, I don't think they. I don't think they would do that because
It-
also
I
I
don't
think they
know.
really want to stick to the Spanish speaking thing. I
Yeah,
guess I
yeah.
don't know. I should assume, but I'm pretty sure he's German, so I kind of doubt he speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If he is possible to run a main, drop insight on his head for him.
Wow.
He-
Dude, I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe
If
Ravens. But
I don't think
I,
he'll.
I've,
So Rafi,
go ahead.
obviously the owner of Omit, he's on Omit as well, and Rafi, the
Mhm.
owner of Omit. I'm gonna read the exact tweet that he said. He might have said a word in there that I don't want to read out loud, but a word that I don't exactly think he probably should say. But let me find his Twitter. Why can't I find his Twitter? Dude, where?
While you're searching for that, I honestly,
Here it
if Simp really didn't want to play with Draza, it could be an interesting swap. If he's really not enjoying, because I remember there was something about Simp not wanting to really team with Draza again, and if Draza's maybe struggling or something, I don't know if FaZe would do it, but it would be an interesting scenario if they were to drop Draza and pick up uh him. I forgot his name already.
Alluka.
Terrible with names. Oh, Luca. It would be an interesting swap, maybe.
Nah, no way.
Yeah,
I'm not
there's no way they
Draza.
do that.
Um,
Draza's is good.
but Rafi tweeted, Alluka Mo West will not be going to a bottom four team, ruining his career by some GM collecting a paycheck. Call us if you want another Omit product that makes you competitive, though, with like a shaking hands emoji is a picture of him. And like Parasite replied and was like, he's got a lot of potential. It's still clear from watching that he definitely needs some guidance. Though throwing him on a bottom team would be disastrous, in my opinion. Which I kind of agree with. Like maybe like he from his POV, he obviously needs just experience. Like any 18-year-old player needs, like he just needs experience and to grow. So like throwing him on a bottom team might hurt him because he might not get that growth there. But also throwing him on a top team, which is why there's no other reason behind me not wanting him on LAT. Is because I don't necessarily think throwing an 18-year-old into the bright lights is gonna be great for him. Like again, it could be. It worked for Mercules. He was awesome. A little different though. Mercules is 21. Like it's a little different, a little more experience. But this is his first two Challengers Cups. I think throwing him straight onto like a team like LAT is a little crazy. Please don't drop Kenny. Yeah, I'm kind of looking at the teams. Optic's not picking him up, like you guys mentioned. Gentlemates isn't. FaZe, they're not. I guess LAT could if they want to do that. I do agree with
G2?
Brock. Insight is an intriguing one, but again, they're pretty solid. I don't think they do that. I don't think Heretics would. Um, Falcons is a very, very, very intriguing one because he seems to be a pretty fast flex. It's not going to happen though because they wouldn't drop Exonid. The obvious one would be slide Kismet down to his sub,
Yeah.
put him on the flex, but they're not going to drop Exonid. G2 again, you're not dropping Mamba who's playing your flex, and I kind of I could see them dropping Skies. Again, I don't think they're going to. Here's where I get to an interesting team. I think there's a connection with Boston. And one of those guys starts to struggle, Nasty or Cammy. I know Cammy's having a good year, but
Can you keep it up?
yeah, I've seen enough. If Boston was willing to pay, I'd be going there. And then I don't think he goes to Cloud9, Surge, or Ravens because I think they're kind of trying to protect him from going to a bottom team.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So right now, when you look at the list of teams that could pick him up, like it might have to be on a sub spot. But if I'm him, I'm not signing a sub contract because I don't want to get locked
Yeah.
into a team. Like people are literally posting clips all over Twitter. Like this guy is like gonna be the GOAT.
He's
Like
the next
yeah,
up
they're
and comer.
talking about him like he's like literally the GOAT already, and it's like okay, I think it's a little bit of an overreaction. I do think he's an awesome player, but like if I'm him, I'm not signing a sub contract anywhere.
Yeah.
No.
Agreed.
I'm not getting locked into somewhere, even if they're like, oh, we'll play, like we'll play you. You know, if this guy struggles for a couple more matches, I'm like, okay, well then just sign me when he struggles for a couple more matches. Like
Yeah.
I'm not signing the
Right.
sub spot because all of a sudden that guy starts playing really well, and I'm sitting on the bench all year like Scrap was on Ultra.
Yeah.
Where Scrap like could have easily probably signed with another team. I mean, like again, would you guys agree? I'm not saying like he wouldn't be an upgrade for like a team like Minnesota or potentially like Falcons or Boston, obviously the bottom three teams. Like I'm not saying he wouldn't be an upgrade, but like people have to understand there are also like logistics behind these moves and money involved.
Yeah.
And like we saw a lot of times last year, we thought like Boston should have made a roster change, but they didn't. And like this might be news to some of you, but it wasn't because they didn't want to. It's probably because of money, you know?
Yep.
So like there are two parts to this. Like I don't know that a lot of these orgs are super willing to spend. Like Cloud9 did not spend a lot on their roster. Ravens did not spend a lot. I don't think Surge spent a lot. I don't think Boston spent a lot. I don't really think Minnesota spent a lot. Falcons, they spent.
They spend.
And then Miami is probably not picking them up because they have their theme they like to go with. They like Spanish speaking players. And then the top five probably aren't picking them up. So you know what I mean? There's limited teams. Like I don't think Falcons are going to make a change, and then like I don't think a lot of the bottom teams like to spend. So like,
I mean,
yeah,
Boston did finish third
dude,
at
it's
champs, so
just
they got some money.
it's just really looking like it might. If he's willing to wait for a top team, it just might be LAT. Please no, don't
Don't
drop
do it
Kenny.
to Ken.
Don't do it to Kenny.
It's don't do it.
Boy, drop insight for Kenny if he gets dropped. It's an immediate upgrade to your team. Dude, that team would be so fast. Kenny, Kleenex, Real, and Joe.
That'd be a fast team.
But yeah, I'm interested to see where he goes. It's kind of fun to see a Challengers player. Like, I mean, shout out to him. Like, 18-year-old kid getting this much hype. Like, but if I'm him, like, you have this much PR of being such a good player. You can make the argument though that he should just sign a contract right away in case like he starts to play worse. You know, so he has that guaranteed contract
right.
in. But also with I've never seen a player be promoted like this in Challengers.
Yeah,
Like,
out of nowhere, just
literally like not many people ever talking about him. I've never heard his name. Obviously, again, people in Challenger circles may be talking about him. I'm not as tapped into those Challenger circles, but dude, like out of nowhere, they're just like, I just see Hecz joining random calls at night, telling everybody on.
that's crazy.
He's repeatedly
Hecz
telling
doing
Scrap.
that?
Well, I think he's just terrified that Optic might three-peat. And he wants
Probably.
anything to stop it. He's joining like 8's calls every time he sees Scrap, and he's like, drop Ken.
He's doing his work.
Yeah, which this is my last thing on the Alluka and Ken thing, and I'll let you guys go before we wrap it up. But the tweet that sums it up was I saw a guy say, "You gotta drop." I'm trying to make sure I get this right. He said, "You gotta drop Ken because he's never good on Treyarch titles." Brock got blurry again, but Brock, listen to this. The follow up was he's only good on Infinity Ward titles such as, what did he say? He said such as World War II and BO4. No. It wasn't BO4. It was MW3. Does anybody want to tell me what developer made World War II and MW3? It was not Infinity Ward, I'll tell you that. Infinity Ward on this guy's comment was spelled INFITI. Ward.
That's pretty funny.
And he said Ken is only good on Infinity Ward titles such as World War II and MW3. For any of you that don't know, those were both Sledgehammer titles. So that
They indeed were.
these are the people that are arguing for him to be dropped. They're talking about him only being good on Infinity Ward titles and proceeding to name Sledgehammer titles.
Sounds about right.
But he was only good on Infinity Ward titles, and he won. He also won a chip. He didn't even mention it. He won a chip and won Champs MVP on Vanguard, which is Sledge title. Maybe maybe he's right. Maybe he's only good on Sledge titles. Dude, he actually is dominant on Sledge titles. What the hell? I'm just thinking about that right now. He got second at World War II Champs and was the best player in the game, and then he won Vanguard and MW3, which are both Sledge titles. And then he got second at Champs and a Treyarch title in BO4.
Yeah.
That guy's been to 4 Champs finals. That's my GOAT. All right. Anything else before we wrap it up? Brock's just getting more and more blurry. He's becoming a pixel on my screen. What is going on?
I'm a pixel.
What is going on?
I don't know what happened.
We'll get it.
I got nothing. I'm blurry.
All right. That's going to do it for this one. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. If you're on the audio platforms, drop a follow, drop a 5-star review. I just thought of this. I am not going to be home next week. So maybe later this week we'll record like a reaction or like a tier list that I can like schedule to be uploaded on Monday or something. Maybe we'll do something like that we can like schedule to be uploaded on Monday, so we have like something out. But I am going to be on vacation. I'm gone this Saturday, and then we won't be able to record next Monday or have a pod, but the following Monday I'm back. So I'm only going to be out for one Monday where we would normally record, but we won't have like any brand new updated episode because I will be gone. But maybe we'll record like a tier list or something, and then we'll like pre-schedule it to upload on Monday or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we won't have like a live new episode recorded next Monday, but we'll be back the following Monday. And I believe, looking at the calendar, that following Monday would be like predictions time again. No, there'd be one more week. So we'll see. We might get into some roster mania, but thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you in the next one.